Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. So the first card you have for today, Leo, is the Aztec Gold Greed. Further on it says, our eyes are bigger than our stomachs, and that we have more curiosity than understanding. We grasp at everything but catch nothing except wind. Yeah, so I feel that when we grasp at everything, it's like, we have to be mindful about what we are wanting, what we are targeting, in the sense that, whether it could be purchases or whether it's things in life or further on here it says our eyes are bigger than our stomachs. Yeah, because our eyes, we consume so much in the day, and stomachs can only hold so much. So I feel this is more about being focused, like stay focused on a few things. It's quality over quantity, I feel. And is even if it's in regards to what you want to accomplish in life, in your goals, your ambitions, and all of that, don't let your energy be scattered. Like you want to do this, that, and that. So there's only so many hours we have in a day. There's only so much energy we have in a day. I feel that if you're going to scatter your energy chasing so many goals, you're not going to get anywhere. So this is about being mindful about where you invest your time and your resources, your energy into. Because, at the end of it, we want to be able to achieve something. At least when we're chasing so many things, we get nothing. We wouldn't be able to enjoy that, that manifestation of something. So be very conscious, be very careful about what you want in the first place and how you invest your time and energy to get that. Today's today in today's times, there's like so many schools of thoughts. I feel like there are people who choose like to go the minimalistic way. There are people who choose to go the maximalistic way, and there are people who choose in between the minimalistic way with the what's it called? I think it's called minimalistic, or yeah, with gumit. The middle people are called minimalistic. So people who whichever modality, whichever way of life, whichever approach you choose, you have to be very conscious about like why you want it in the first place also. Sometimes we just, want things because, because this, that, and the third, it's new in the market. We like it, or maybe it's trending, or because, everybody's going after it and that's why we want it. Or does it really appeal to us? And after you get that, like, what after you get that? What does it make you feel? Does it make you feel burdened because you spend so much? Or does it really make you feel happy? And things like that. So even from a financial perspective, I think this is something that we need to think about, like before investing our resources, our hard-earned money into what is it worth? When you buy the item, what feeling does it give us? Like, finally, it's so good and I would never be able to manage without this. Or after buying, do you feel like, oh my God, I shouldn't have bought it? So evaluate your, your desires, or what even your purchases. I would say, and if you're too scattered or too many projects, you're spreading thin onto a project, and that's something also that you need to look at. Or maybe your day is packed with things that actually tire you away. And at the end you get nothing. Maybe you're just wasting your energy doing things that are not adding value to your life. So further down it says you don't need everything. You need what truly feeds your spirit. So yeah, exactly. So even when it comes to attending social gatherings and all, we say yes to so many things. And there is a lot of activity going on in the social scene, in the events that are there. And we get invited to a lot, but is it really worth it? Is it you? And what do we achieve after we go in, after attending that event? Does it really make us feel happy? Do we network? Are we going there and just, doing nothing, just standing there and, we're there just because you got invited, but it's not a value add. So it's also something that needs to be paid attention to. Now it comes to Aztec, gold also is gold is a very I would say a very precious element to have. And yeah, so some of you might be into gold as well. You might be investing a lot into gold. And from what I know, gold and silver prices are really up right now. They're doing, they're going so high right now. So maybe you have to just exercise caution because, when it comes to buying, ornaments and investments and gold and all of that, it looks very nice. But then, we have to exercise some kind of restraint because this is a metal that keeps fluctuating in value. Right now, it's really the prices are through the roof, but sometime it even went below, it went down also. So we have to be mindful of our investments. So don't do things that derail you or imbalance your life. So that's one thing you need to be very mindful of that as well. Now, I do feel that the energy of this card is to think of long term rather than, burn yourself out or burn a hole in your pocket. So think long term. If you're making an investment, think about long term investment, rather than short term sales and things like that. So now if this is not your energy here, this could be playing out around you or even in the world around you, at a global level or at a local level, where you might be seeing their family members or your friends, they're buying a lot of trending items and all of that, and then, it's just stuffed away in their cabinets. So you might be seeing things like that happening also, or maybe they're just, maybe they're binge shopping, or maybe they're like, yeah, so something like that. Like somebody might be just shopping their heart out and then later feeling like, there's no space to put away those items or, things like that. Now, some of you might also be seeing a shift in perspective of people around you that they feel they want to live in spaces which is less stressful to upkeep, to maintain. So you might be seeing that the general taste of people are starting to change, where they want spaces that they can manage, easily, and they don't have to break a leg to actually keep it and maintain it. So you could be seeing that kind of shift in maybe, in your area or in your family. So like living more with intention is something that, people might be choosing to do. Now, I'm also feeling that some of you might be hearing about some, situations where the leaders, the countries, maybe they want to just invest, and now they're holding back on their investments. Maybe you hear that there's a mall coming up here, there, everywhere, and now it's been put on hold because they want to rethink, like, so many malls and, shops. Is it going to be worth it? So I feel that some of you might even see that plans are being reevaluated or construction being reevaluated or expansion of society or growth or homing or home societies that were coming up before. Maybe there's a change of plan or something like that. You might also hear things like that. You might also see that, people are, especially around your friends or maybe, that they are, especially when you meet people or in parties, you might be seeing that people are ordering too much food and there's a lot of leftover. And I feel with this energy that everybody needs to be mindful of that as well. Like, why have so much of leftover? So we need to be ordering things mindfully, depending on the number of people that are attending events. So I do feel that, this energy is encouraging her to assess like what we really need versus, what we just keep hoarding onto or just collecting. So that might even help you, like, manage things, and there's less clutter and less things to get rid of. Especially when we move and all of that, it's a huge, task to move and collect all of those items and pack it and go. So you might be kind of, reevaluating things at your place, like what do you want to buy and, versus what you really need and things like that. Or you can also just check your, days and social events and calendar and see which ones really need which events need to be attended and which ones you can just pass off for now. Now further, it says true wealth is focus. When desire is aligned with the heart, even a small flame becomes a lasting sun. The next card you have, Leo, is number 24, and it says Waning Crescent 1, and further down it says Protection. Now, if you look at the moon, it's almost like, right at the end of its cycle, and it's like almost kind of yellowish change or orangish in color, not pure white, at least in the picture, and so when it's, almost kind of, it's heading towards a new moon, it's going to be, this is like the most, this is the most, I would say, relaxing time in the moon phases, which means that it's time to pause because, when we are starting out, after the new moon is the time when we set intentions and goals and all of that, we put energy and effort and it grows. With the waxing moon, there is growth cycle, and with the waning moon, it's a release and rest cycle. So this is a time for you, Leos, to take a pause, to rethink things, and to, shift up, to reanalyze, to reevaluate, and, to take it slow, to take it easy. So you need to protect yourself, your energy, your time, your health, and everything. It needs you for self-care. This is a time for self-care, so that, you're well rested and refreshed again, so that when the new moon is here, you can set fresh intentions, and then, put the work and energy into it. So, the thing is, the sun right now is in Capricorn, and sun is the ruling planet of the Leo collective. So vegan Capricorn is 10,000 energy. The collective Capricorn is 10,000 energy, which is about ambitions, work, goals, working hard and things like that. So maybe there is a pressure because, sun in Capricorn is like, energy and pressure and perform, or to complete the work, or, to lead and do, so you might be feeling a little bit of pressure, especially from your bosses or your team, or your deliverables and things that you need to complete. So this is something that you might need to manage because, you might be exhausted, you might be trying to get a lot done, and you need to, maybe it's because you want to stay, at a leadership position, or you want visibility or something like that, you want to stay visible. So you might be in professions that are, that have a lot of visibility, or you might be in roles that have a lot of visibility. So maybe to stay relevant or to stay visible, you want to do a lot, so you might be feeling exhausted, I feel, that because of that. So that's something you will need to, again, analyze and see which are the things that you can delegate and which of those that you can, put off for later, and prioritize things. Like whatever needs your attention, immediate attention needs to be worked on. The rest can wait. Now, this definitely is a time for self-care, for, health and wellness and all of that. Reanalyzing things, like when you started 28 days back, what were you working on? I mean, in general, just reevaluating things, like what worked, what process worked, what, approach worked, and things like that, and what did not work, and, you can make the changes and you can try again, in the next cycle, in the next lunar cycle. So at this point in time, there's a lot of reevaluation going on, and also, taking care of health, and wellness and things like that is also going to be very important, taking care of your maybe even homes. Make sure they're all, kind of like the boundary, the walls, they're not broken, or if they need some maintenance, then you can also get them maintained. So that's another thing. Now, some of you might also be in areas related to defense, where there is a lot of protection. Maybe you have to protect the country, the boundaries, or maybe this is, maybe this is protection of intellectual property when the companies that you work. This can also be finances. So protecting of finances, making sure you're not scammed, and beware of all of those malware that's going around. This can also be, security of your home, or you could be in sectors that provide security in some way, shape, or form, whether it's to people, whether it's, to countries and services and all of that. So some of you could be into that, protecting the borders of the countries or cities and things. This is also a time for, I would say preservation, like preservation, forests, animals, all of that. So you might hear up about a lot of initiative for preservation. Whether it's preserving buildings, older buildings, architecture, or the marine life, or animal life, or forest. So you might hear of initiatives coming up in regards to preservation of natural resources and things like that. So this is also your own preservation, like preserving your time, energy, health, focusing on wellness initiatives, and doing whatever you can to recharge your batteries, to replenish your energies and things like that. It's also about, some kind of spiritual practices where you can just maybe go to retreats. There's a lot of, even detox. Like this is a good time to detox your body, your mind, your heart, mind, and soul. Take to spiritual practices, meditation, spend some quiet time and things like that, so which helps us get our life force back. Are the things that you want to practice right now. This can also be about, a lot of, in the sense, privacy, a lot of privacy issues. Like people are sensitive to privacy issues. They want more data containment. They don't want things to get out. They don't want to, they don't want to go out there. They want to show themselves or their lives and things like that. So you might feel a decline in people who want to let people in on their lives and things like that. So they are choosing to be more private versus open and, something like that. I also feel if this is about your finances, then this is coming through again, that choosing long-term investments and value over, short-term gains or flashy things that are coming in the market in terms of finances and deals and packages and memberships and all of that. So you might want to check on that again if you are planning to buy those. I also feel that I feel that you're kind of, I do feel a little bit of cozy vibes, like you want to cozy up your home. You want to cozy things up, like not have it too scattered, is the vibe that I'm picking. So you might be doing things to create a cozy atmosphere at home, shifting up the home decor or the colors that invite those vibes. This is also like, to feel comfortable. So doing things that bring comfort versus what's trending. So you might be, even reevaluating your choices in terms of your clothing, your shoes, and things like that. You want to buy things that are, comfortable to wear. And they're not just about trend and, the public image, but you want to do things that really are comforting, that are easy to handle, I feel. So it's a good time to, rest in, focus on the health and decluttering your space to make it more cozy, to make it more homely. Also taking care of your detox, your body, your sleep cycles, you eat, the food that you eat and all of that. So protective about what you put into your body. And also like, having that quieter way, quiet confidence is like not being too loud and things like that, if that's your story. Or maybe you'll see people around you that they were loud before they, they kind of, stood out in the crowd. You might find them a little bit in a mellow spirit, so there's so many ways of being confident and feeling confident. So you might see a shift in some leadership approaches also, especially Ilios, you're the leader. Leaders begin ruled by the sun. So you might see that versus like maybe the company leaders, instead of like being loud and all of that, they're more like mellowed down. They're more about let's do it together. They want to consult the team and get the consensus versus this is versus my Vir Highway. So you might see a change in leadership styles as well in the leaders. So further on says, step back, dear soul. You are divinely protected while you rest, release, and prepare for the light to return. The next card you have, Leo, is the Princess of Wands. Further on it says, your spark is sacred. Follow it with joy, guide it with wisdom, and let your fire light the way for yourself and others. Yeah, so Wands is a fire energy, which is totally your card. You know, Leo is fixed fire. So this is the energy of, you know, just being bold and starting out, experimenting, learning about things, feeling highly driven, motivated. You probably have some ideas. You might want to try some businesses. You might want to change careers. You might want to learn something, you know, sign up for some classes. You might be doing that as well. But the only caveat with the Princess of Wands is this is a young energy. It's not a mature energy. So, you know, because when it comes to wands, there needs to be a maturity to use that fire. Because fire is like a very transformative energy. It's, it's a fire can, you know, it burns some things if it's left out of control, just at the wildfires. And if it's controlled, just like on the wick of a candle, it just, you know, adds beauty to the house. So the fire, yes, there is a torch out here which is lit. So some of you might be trying new things. You might be into, maybe you're trying some different sports that needs a lot of practice. You might be learning things. Maybe you have some creative ideas. So this is an energy that you really want to do something. So it's like you're itching for something. And there is restlessness, like, what should I do? What should I do? This, that, and the third. So yeah, but the only thing is that you will need, to be responsible to use this fire, to use this energy. So you might initiate a lot of things, but you might not be able to follow through it. So that's not good too. That's the caveat of this. That's the downside of this energy. So, while it is a good thing that, you know, you want to initiate things, there is a warmth this little person has. And, I feel that, yeah, it's good to have the high energy, high drive to go do things, but don't be impulsive. Impulsivity is something that you will need to be very careful about. And also, I feel that if you are into some kind of career or learning something or into business, don't give up too fast, yeah? Because when we start projects and businesses, we don't get the results immediately. So sometimes this Princess of Wands energy kind of, the fire just goes away, dies out, you know? So be mindful, like if you're investing your time, energy, resources into starting enterprises or companies or businesses, don't give up on it too fast. Because this is like, allergy kind of short span vibe that comes with the Princess of Wands. You know, here, there, everywhere. Because you'll feel energized. You'll feel like you want to say things. You want to just, tell everybody what you want. You want to, and this is good for that. It's a high confidence, highly charismatic, highly motivating energy. But then it's a shorter kind of attention span with this. So be mindful of that, like you're listening carefully to ideas and people. You're not just drifting away from one place to another. That's also the thing. Also, I feel that, this is the push, to do something, to lead, because you're highly driven right now. So you might be exploring a lot of creative ideas also. The fifth house collective, your energy is a lot of creative energy. So you might be trying out, you might be learning up a lot of creative things. This also reminds me of the flame that's lit on the Olympics. So some of you might be training for some athletics and sports and things like that. Trying something new, maybe new approaches, maybe new ways of breaking records. Also comes to me with this energy. Some of you might be into creative arts. You might be trying something different, not like stereotypical things, something completely different. So you might be pushing the envelope in that areas, in the creative areas. Or this could be like, trying something adventurous. Maybe you're feeling fearless right now. So, Yeah, I mean, being fearless is good as long as that is you plug in the right places. Like, being fearless in, when you want to speak up in meetings, it's good. When you want to try something new, that fearlessness is good because we need to have that open-mindedness and the strength and courage to try something new, things that we don't know that you have to learn because it takes a lot to learn new things. It takes a lot to lead, so some of you might be into that energy as well. Like you want to try something new. You want to, say it as it is and you're excited about it and things like that. So again, like just be mindful of the things that I just mentioned, like the fire doesn't go off before the project is completed. So follow through is going to be very important. This reminds me of the Hunger Games, and it's a beautiful movie. And specifically the Katniss Everdeen in that movie, so pay attention to that if you choose to watch the movie. It's something that I resonate, that resonates with this energy. Or you can even listen to Alicia Keys' Girl on Fire. I really like that song. So that's something that you can, you listen to it if you wish to. I think you'll pick up a vibe with that song. So it's a beautiful song, of inner fire that's lit up. So Girl on Fire, Alicia Keys would be a go-to song for this if you're interested. Now, if this is not your energy, you might even see a lot of, activity around you where there's a lot of activism, activists, like people out there, they want to fight for change and they want to, you might see people being fearless with their, the career choices that they're choosing. Like, maybe they want to try something that nobody in the family has done. So you might be seeing some people around that are choosing to invest in career choices that is not atypical, right? Then some of you might be even seeing, maybe this is, people around you, your family, your friends, maybe in your neighborhood as well, that, maybe people are moving into homes and they are, buying homes. Maybe it's their first home and they are, maybe they don't have all the information, but they want to step into the market and, try something different or different kind of home or in a different neighborhood than what they are used to. Some of you might even see some kind of people experimenting with the market, because market keeps moving and you need that courage to even experiment something in changing market. So some of you might be seeing that people are trying out new things. They're playing around with finances or trying out different, maybe businesses. So you might be seeing that, I didn't even know that there is a market for this product, but people are there investing into it. So some of you might even run into things like that. But whatever this is, I feel that you might even see that, people have a vision and they're going after it. Maybe they don't have all the information. Maybe things are not perfect at this point in time, but they're going for it. So some of you might see a little bit fearlessness in that as well. Now, this can also be people around you. You might see younger generations that are trying bold colors in their clothing or, style or dressing. You might see a little bit fearless styles around you or the kind of jewelry they're wearing or the kind of, things they are carrying with them. You might see like a little bit of boldness around those choices. Or the hairdos and things like that. They might be fearless with their, their designs or their homes. The interior, the decor, the colors, the beans, and things like that. So you might see a little bit boldness around that as well. And the last card for today, Leos, you have is the butterfly card, and it says transformation. Further, it says get ready for a big breakthrough. Yeah, so some place maybe where you're stuck, something's going to emerge, a solution, an idea. Some change is here because butterflies indicate changes. When the caterpillar suddenly one day turns into a butterfly and flies away. So it's a sudden change. It's a sudden opening up. And, it's a very positive energy. The colors are yellow and green, very vibrant colors. So I do feel that changes are here. Further on, it says you are not becoming someone new. You are revealing who you already are. So I feel that maybe things have shifted up inside of you and there is a new image of you or a new branding. Maybe it's related to yourself. Maybe it's related to a business that you have or a product that you're selling. Maybe that has gone a complete rebranding, or maybe you yourself has gone to a different I would say an evolution. It's a change, because butterflies here are also associated with the underworld. They are known in the spiritual realms to carry souls between the worlds. So it's like a very spiritual evolution that is happening or is happening. So, and this is the air element, of course, because it's all about fast movement. It's freedom. So, and your energy is the fire energy. So and fire is all again a spiritual energy connecting to the ethers, having the courage, the boldness. That's what the fire does, the ignition, the fuel. So I do feel that with this butterfly, there's like, freedom is what comes to mind, freedom to freedom. I feel that some of you will experience some kind of freedom. Maybe there is going to be a solution. Maybe you will have some clarity. Maybe it's a new idea, a new perspectives. Could be anything, that brings us freedom. So I do feel that there are changes. This could be internal changes. This could be external changes. This could be the way you dress, the way you talk, the way maybe the career is changing. Maybe you see yourself as an engineer, and then tomorrow you go to college and you become, for medicine, and you become a doctor. So there is a change. Some of you could be shifting careers. Some of you could be like, maybe it's like you are part of a team and suddenly you get promoted. So now you are leading the team, So there is a shift in the position, the profile, and the way you see yourself. Now you see yourself as a leader. People look up to you. You have been given this responsibility to lead a team. So, things change on that front. So some of you could be in those situations as well. Of course, it's a little scary to step into leadership roles, but then it's also exciting at the same time, for those of you who are really looking forward to it. So I feel that you might have gotten the opportunity to become this butterfly, to shift up. Now, this could be an identity change also in the way you look, maybe your hairdo, maybe your dress, or, maybe the car you drive, it could be anything at a personal level. This could be anything. This could be the way you do your home, the decor. It's like you're rebranding yourself in some way. Maybe the way you talk, or the way maybe you're an event planner and you've changed the way you kind of do events or plan parties. So something here at the deeper level is changing, is transforming. It's a rebirth energy. Butterflies are transformations, but they're also rebirth energy. It's like a renewal, then your deepest, I would say a soul renewal also. I would say a soul renewal, some kind of a soul renewal that is, that brings freedom, that brings happiness, that brings new way of being, because, being in a cocoon is like you're in one place, and butterflies like all over the place, right? So this is like, this is like freedom. And I also feel that some of you are also reinventing yourself in the way that maybe you've joined a sports club, maybe you've joined a gym, maybe you've taken a course and now you're practicing in that, or maybe you've become a coach. Maybe you started a side gig, and now, maybe you've also opened a restaurant, so now people see you as a good chef as well. Or maybe you have a restaurant and you've changed the menu or changed the decor and you've rebranded yourself. Or maybe you have a cosmetic line and you're rebranding it. So it could be anything, a reinvention of some kind. And this is also a change in the perspectives, in the how you see things. Like how do you, maybe you are going to a shift in the way you see. Maybe the way you see, like, for example, you go buying a car. So maybe like a few years back, you were like, oh, I want fast cars. I really want, supercars or something like that. And now you're like, oh, you know what? Now cars to me is like just a way of getting from point A to B. So there is a shift in perspective. So some of you could be kind of, redefining your choices, redefining things. yeah, so now you could also be changing up the way you do life. The way, if you're at leadership positions, if you're already at leadership positions, you might be changing the way you lead. Maybe you're changing the approach. Or yeah, it reminds me of Eat, Pray, Love, Elizabeth Gilbert and that. So what's a movie? I'm just picking up that vibe of Eat, Pray, Love. It's reinvention, it's an inner awakening. It's courage to, to show your authentic self, to show your new self, to not be afraid of showing your new self. Whatever has changed, you're not afraid of showing it, it's that kind of courage. And so this is not your energy. This could be something around you, maybe in your family, friends, extended family, neighborhood, even at a global or city level, where you're seeing that, things are shifting direction. Maybe there are policies that are changing. Maybe people have protested against something and the leaders are changing up their policies or accommodating the new request, or, some kind of a protest or activist that have been kind of working towards some inclusion or something like that. Maybe public pressure has caused the city to change up certain rules or policies, or some of you can be seeing that as well. Or it could be some city, or you could be hearing this news about neighborhoods around you that are changing up the outdated things that are there, like maybe they're changing up the security systems, or they're changing up the parts, or they're changing up the roads around it, or something is reforming around you. Something that was outdated is reforming. Now, I also feel that this will make you feel lighter, because butterfly, it can fly everywhere. It's not bound to cocoons. So when you're bound like that, in a cocoon, it's like you can't go anywhere. It's so depressing and so sad. I really, I'm hats off to butterflies for the process that they go through, but it's just that, so it's like the weight lifted. So it's like a lightness you feel. You will feel lighthearted after this. And I feel that it's also like, when you go through this kind of transformation, it's like you will stay away from flashy stuff. All that jitters is not good, and you recognize that now. So you're going to be more realistic, more authentic, more positive, having more faith, more hope in things, feeling more optimistic about things. And I feel that, and I feel there is an appreciation, for this freedom. So there is an appreciation for this kind of, for feeling free, for dropping the burdens, I feel. It could be any kind of burden. It could be maybe pressure from office. Like you're like, I don't want to be this leader. I don't want to be the CEO. So I'm going to step down. I'm going to just go live the life I want to. So some of you could be doing that as well. And, you're bold enough to do that. You're bold enough to take those kind of risks. Some of you might be like, living in huge homes, and you're like, nah, I don't want to deal with the people. This, and I want to downsize. So that could be possible as well. No, further down below it says, trust your wings, the air will hold you. Your breakthrough is not ahead of you, it is unfolding to you. So beautiful energies out here, yo. Those were your messages, and hope you enjoyed them. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.